You can save so much money by buying things that are used, even if they were hardly used. Just did a video on that here during the live TLDR broadcast. TLDR, short for, of course, the Locker Gnome Daily Report. There was a corresponding article for the things that you should buy that are used. That, of course, was linked in the description. But if you look at the description for this particular video, you will see a link for the corresponding article. It's really on the opposite end of the spectrum. Things that you should not buy when they're used. And we listed some reasons. And by the way, you are more than welcome to agree or disagree with us. Because I'm sure there's going to be some pretty big opinions about the products that we're saying that you should not buy used. And we give you reasons. It's not that we're just saying it to be flippant about it. These are based on, well, we believe a good degree of logic. So let me go ahead, pull up the article here. The things you should not buy used. I'm going to go ahead, +1 that, tweet it out, like it on Facebook. Hopefully you do the same, because even if you're not interested, maybe someone who follows you would be interested in things that they should watch out when they're buying used. See, maybe it's not just you should not buy used, just this is kind of like a caveat emptor, if you will. Or that's a Latin phrase. Let the buyer beware. So one thing you got to watch out for if you're purchasing used laptops or even computers in general. Doesn't mean that it's a bad buy. It just means that sometimes they're not exactly, perfect. Why is someone selling an old computer? It could be older, and in many cases, you can't even buy an old computer for the same. Well, wait. Let me try to rephrase that. You can buy a new computer, almost for the same price as an old computer. What a lot of old computers or used computers are selling for, and if that's the only reason I would suggest watching out for used computers is the price, because buy new, you can buy a new notebook computer, a laptop computer, brand new, for like $100 or $200. And in many cases, this is going to be just as good as a computer that was brand new a couple of years ago that you could buy used on eBay, Craigslist, any place that might be selling a computer online. You could, of course, go through a refurb unit, and you got to watch out for the warranties. With refurbs, you got to know that you're getting something that is used. But buying secondhand, specifically a computer, sometimes you really don't know what you're going to get. A computer isn't just one thing. It's a series of components. Every computer is. You've got the screen, you've got the keyboard, you've got the some kind of other input device, whether it's a touchpad or a nipple in the middle of the keyboard. You got the battery, you've got the potentially an optical drive, you've got the memory, you've got the CPU, you've got the logic board. The list goes on and on and on and on. And when you're buying this set of components used, if one of those things has failed and they don't let you know that one of those things has failed, or if it's prone to fail again, you're just buying a headache at that point. You can save some money, yes, but again, caveat emptor. Another suggestion that you should not buy used is a vacuum cleaner. This is one of those household appliances, as noted in the article, that can be incredibly difficult to troubleshoot when problems arise. If it's a bad vacuum, of course you'd want to look up reviews for any particular vacuum. And in many cases, why would you really want to use a vacuum cleaner that was used by someone else in an environment that you had no idea what it was like? You don't know what they were vacuuming up in that vacuum. I mean, even if you change the filter, it's still a little, isn't that kind of ooky, really? When you think about it? Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's a little, I don't know if I would go that far. Another suggestion of things that you might not want to buy used, hard drives. We all know that every hard drive out there is not going to last forever. Even if that person had used something like Derek's Boot and Nuke or DBAN, and written over that hard drive a billion times over with zeros, that hard drive is closer to failure than it was when it was brand new. And, if it's for some kind of mission-critical environment, I mean, yes, hard drive prices are currently a little higher than average, but I would never recommend you getting something that has got an incredibly short shelf life to begin with, brand new. When it's used, you don't know how hard it was used. You don't know how close to death it is. Even if you could run a smart report on it before you purchased it, buying a used hard drive is sometimes bad news. Sometimes. Now, I know that everybody who's watching this video live is probably commenting, oh, look, Super Geek Time here on YouTube says, good point, Chris. I'm trying to make good points. I mean, we're not just, crazy by asserting these things. These are things you have to consider when you're buying used. Johnny Boy Live, who's a huge supporter of our community, says, I don't trust used computers. I really like putting a new one together myself. That is absolutely true. Can you donate your computer for charity, says Airwolf28. Absolutely. I mean, we're not talking about just getting something for free, because sometimes you get what you pay for, especially if it's a used product. You absolutely should donate your products if you're not going to use them anymore. Give them to a nonprofit organization, a charity that you can walk into and hand. Don't just give it to a nameless, faceless organization. Know who you're dealing with if you're going to donate anything. That's my recommendation. It has nothing to do with the article. But here's another important factor, specifically with used computers and technology. Ilko187 notes, don't buy used product keys. You don't know where they got those product keys from. I mean, they could have been pirated in general, and then you are an accomplice to a crime. Software piracy is a crime. It's not just for fun. That's what some of you believe it is. But when you're taking these products into your home, you're accepting responsibility for those products, and you don't know what went on beforehand. Just something to keep in mind. Again, we've got a list of products that are okay or should be okay to buy used to complement this list of products that we've blogged about on LockerGnome.com, products that you should be careful about, or we recommend not buying used, at least with those caveats in place.